The first is Ryan Young Park, nominated to the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Fourth Circuit, a distinguished appellate lawyer with strong ties to North Carolina. He clerked at all levels of the federal judiciary, including for Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Justice David Souter on the U.S. Supreme Court. Mr. Park then worked in private practice before joining the North Carolina Solicitor General's office in 2017. In 2020, he was appointed as the state Solicitor General. To date, he has argued more than 30 appeals, including 10 times in the Fourth Circuit, twice before the U.S. Supreme Court. Individuals across the political spectrum support his nomination, including a bipartisan group of current and former state solicitors general, a bipartisan group of Supreme Court clerks, and the National Fraternal Order of Police. Notably, the Biden White House consulted extensively with the North Carolina senators before nominating Mr. Park, including interviewing and reviewing the records of every candidate that the North Carolina senators put forward as an alternative. The White House also agreed to the senators' request to delay this nomination until their new Judicial Selection Commission could run a process. The White House also facilitated multiple interviews for the North Carolina senators with Mr. Park. Contrast this with the experience in the first Trump administration. President Trump announced he would nominate Lawrence Van Dyke, who did not even live in the state of Nevada, to the Ninth Circuit 2 days before Senators Cortez, Masto, and Rosen announced their bipartisan Judicial Selection Commission. Senator Booker was never given the opportunity to interview Paul Mady, who was nominated to a New Jersey seat on the Third Circuit. Senator Baldwin was informed during her very first conversation with the Trump White House about a Seventh Circuit vacancy that President Trump had already decided on a nominee. Senate Republicans confirmed all of these nominees. This established a new floor for consulting with home state senators that the Biden White House has far exceeded for Mr. Park's nomination. Does anyone seek recognition to speak on Mr. Park's nomination?
Mr. Chairman.
Senator Tillis.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm actually glad that you started with the track record because I'd like to talk about my track record first. I've been criticized in many cases for supporting judges that you all wanted confirmed. In fact, I've probably outvoted anyone here on taking a tough vote and supporting Biden administration judges and Obama administration judges. The White House-led counsel proved to be absolutely incompetent in this process. They put forth a list of 4 nominees that they wanted me to choose from that included Ted Budd's opponent in a Senate election, someone who is patently partisan, has a track record to substantiate it, and they think that that's a serious list for me to choose from? And then when I provide them a list of 4, they say not only are they not fit for the Fourth Circuit, but we wouldn't even consider them for a district court judge? I did my homework, and I built relationships on the other side of the aisle, Mr. Chair. I know that this candidate, or that this nominee, has no prayer of getting confirmed by the full U.S. Senate unless Chuck Schumer and my colleagues on the other side of the aisle play a game and wait for a funeral or an illness to cause an absentee problem on our side. I confirmed this morning what I said in this hearing a couple of months ago. I have the votes to defeat this nominee on the floor. So I'm telling my colleagues on the other side of the aisle, I'm kind of wondering what Thom Tillis needs to show up in the Trump administration. The Thom Tillis who was here the last time, who tried to work with you all on some judges, or the Thom Tillis who reflexively votes no? And you're going to give me a lot of things to think about today. If in spite of the fact that I'm telling you now, you can bank on it, that if we have attendance, this nominee will never get confirmed, and you're going to go, yeah, but we need to do it in committee, then I will tell you the same thing next year when the roles are reversed. And they're going to be reversed, ladies and gentlemen. So you're going to either make my job harder by doing the right thing and respecting your colleague today, or you're going to make my job easier because I'm going to go right down the line with the administration. Now, I'd like to seek unanimous consent for an op-ed to show you just how not bipartisan Mr. Park is. I'm not talking about the merit.
Without objection.
I'm not talking about the merits now, folks. I'm talking about you telling me how you want me to behave in a future administration. And I will apologize in advance if I have to remind you of your vote today. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Anyone else seek recognition?
Good morning.
The nomination, unfavorably reporting the nomination of Ryan Young Park to be U.S. Circuit Judge for the Fourth Circuit. The clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Whitehouse.
Aye.
Ms. Klobuchar. Ms. Klobuchar? Aye. Sorry, thank you. Mr. Coons. Mr. Blumenthal.
Aye.
Ms. Hirono. Mr. Booker. Mr. Padilla. Mr. Ossoff. Mr. Welsh. Ms. Butler. Mr. Graham.
No.
Mr. Grassley.
No by proxy.
Mr. Cornett.
No.
Mr. Lee.
No.
Mr. Cruz.
No.
Mr. Hawley.
No.
Mr. Cotton.
No by proxy.
Mr. Kennedy.
No by proxy.
Mr. Tillis.
I got my answer. No.
Mrs. Blackburn. No. Chair Durbin.
Aye.
Chair Durbin, on this vote, the ayes are 11, the nays are 10.
The nomination will be favorably reported to the floor. Next is Sharad Desai